Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me in my living room. All right. I am going to give a few minutes if you want to come on and come into the chat while I'm going live with this. But I'm going to be talking about Gene Key 19 and what is being illuminated or in transit in our DNA. So, hey, what's up? Okay, so I'm not going to really go too much into detail with gene keys, the teachings, and everything like that. But basically, it is the genetic psychology of the DNA based off of the esoteric teachings and the I Ching, human design, and of course, astrology. So, but what's being activated today and for the next couple of days, it's been actually activated for a couple of days, is Gene Key 19. And it is called the future human being, right? Okay. And this is what this gene or this gene key governs is your hair. I know I've been noticing my hair fall out a lot lately. And it has, your body hair as well, not just this hair, but your body hair as well. You might notice dry skin. I've also noticed dry skin, and that has a lot to do with the hair on the body, retaining moisture and processing. So we'll process, We're all going through these genetic mutations, and Gene Keys gives you the guide to what you can expect psychologically and, through the physiological body as well, the amino acid structures. So Gene Key 19, it goes from, it's the shadow frequency, the lower frequency, as we raise in consciousness. So consciousness is an awareness. And as the body or the human itself becomes more aware, and we're in this information technology driven society now. So, it's a choice to not become aware of the human evolution at this point. So as we become more aware of what's going on, our surroundings, the truth, that raises our consciousness. And as our consciousness raises, our genes, our genetics, all that start to restructure. And that's how we come through this human evolution. That's how the body evolves. It's how the body has continuously evolved over time. It is through consciousness, through awareness. And okay, so Gene Key 19 is the shadow frequency is codependence. Sorry, let me get comfortable here. Is codependence. And through history, we didn't start out as a codependent species. Other than we were codependent on the planet for the nutrients, right? Once we became the humanoid species that we are today, but not the original human, right? The light body human. They were not codependent on anything. Okay, they were a state of being, a consciousness, a light body itself. And so as we've de-evolved, okay, and we've become codependent on the earth, on food, and and because of that, we've given, or indigenous and ancients have given their power to something outside of themselves, gods. And that has created a detachment from the God self that you are. Okay, so that has created another reason why you have dormant DNA in your body. It knows that you're God's source self, right? Your DNA knows that, but since you're not conscious of it, the DNA is not going to act and rewire in that way until you become conscious of it. Right. Okay. So from codependence and being codependent, and we've gone from gods, right? Well, now in this, as we've evolved and we have more technology, it's a galactic activation portal day. Hey, whoop, whoop. Well, then that explains why I'm on here. We're activating. And here we're talking about activating Gene Key 19. And so when I say that Gene Key 19 is being activated, it's activated collectively for everybody. Now, if you have this in your holographic gene profile, you're really being guided and activated and aligned, to pay more attention, and you don't have to have this in your specific profile. Everybody has all of these genes, just some are more predominant in others. Okay, some genes are predominant, just like, in the zodiac, you might have more predominant water, earth, air, fire. Okay, it just depends on where your planets are at. It's the same thing with a holographic gene profile. Some genes you're going to have in your personal profile, and some you won't, but they're all within your body, just like every planet's in your body. Okay. And so from the culture that, in the past, where we've put more focus outside of our bodies and become codependent on gods, we've also become, codependent on food. Food is God. Food is holy. Food feeds you, right? Food, right? So we've had codependence on food. We had codependence on relationships. Maybe you find you can't do something unless you have a specific pen. Maybe it's just you're codependent on your pen, or you have to have a certain time that you do your meditation. You've become codependent on a routine. So it's just like, this is where you'll see codependent, and it's different for everybody. I had a codependency on coffee. I had to have it in the morning. I was codependent on, that's how I woke up. I had to have caffeine. So I became aware of it, and I kept that shit out. I was like, what? No, you don't. No, you don't need that. You really don't need that. And now I'm like, I don't need that. I love it. I love coffee. Don't get me wrong. I like the way it tastes, but I don't have to have it. And so what you're going to have notice in your reality right now popping up, in everybody's reality, whole collective's reality, is codependency. Like, is it you're codependent to being a title, like a mom, a father? Are you a teacher? Where are your codependencies at, right? And so that's the shadow. This is when you're running in the lower frequencies, or if you have like a pattern that you need to have awareness, and that's what's going to arise. And it's not to judge yourself, it's just to become aware of it, because whenever you become aware of it, it stimulates and activates the DNA to align, right? You call back in your power at that point. You don't have to, you can claim it and say, I am here, I am present, I am now. I don't have a codependency. I'm not codependent. I am my own authority. And then you can do that. You can have ceremony. You can do whatever it takes for you to wrap your mind or your being around what patterns have kept you a slave to your routine, or a slave to a codependence, or whatever. Don't get twisted on my words, okay? I'm doing my best to explain this for everybody here right now, okay? And then, so from codependence, it moves into, well, I don't need that shit. I'm independent. I got this. I'll do this on my own. So you go into an independent state. Like, I am my own authority. I am my own boss. I do what I want. And you move into your independence, and that's the higher frequency. That's the gift of it, right? That's the gift that you get from this activation, is your drive to take your power, your drive to be your own authority, or be your own boss. Maybe it's not reliant on your spouse, maybe, or your boyfriend or girlfriend. Maybe it's not being so only the mom. Maybe it's like, whoa, I'm not just a mom, or I'm not just a dad, or I'm not just a teacher, or I'm not just, it's like, I am more, and I am my own creator. I am my own authority in whatever I choose to be and however I choose to show up. And so it brings that gift aspect to it. And then from that gift frequency that you're now emitting, right? Omitting, outwardly, energetically into your field, you know, that have that high vibe frequency, then you move into a higher state. It's called the city. It's a Sanskrit word, and it's just meaning a higher state of awareness, a higher state of consciousness. It's called city. And that moves into, actually, no, I'm sorry. Well, that's what city means, yes. But I'm sorry, I was like off track. But from independence, it moves to interdependence. And that's where we're all united as one. But that's not the city. I'm sorry. The city of this gene key is sacrifice. But I'm just saying where codependence goes, codependent to independence to interdependence. And so interdependence is recognizing that we're all one. It's like how I made at my video yesterday that I posted. It was about how everybody showed up in my reality and what they reflected back to me. It's realizing that we're all connected and that everybody is playing a role in your reality, but they're really you. We're all interwoven, right? And that whatever the collective's feeling, everybody feels. I mean, you can learn how to detach from that, but essentially that's the feeling. It's the hive, right? It's that hive, like that unity consciousness. And so that's where this gene is really going in and illuminating. Okay, it's illuminating in all of the collective right now. And so we're noticing these patterns. So whatever aspect of codependent are you running on, like the independence or interdependent? Like it's just the state of being, the state of mind that you're in, right? Okay. So from the shadow state, that was from the shadow state. Okay, now moving into the gift frequency, what comes from that is sensitivity. The people that have this activated in their body, like me, I have gene key 19 in my holographic gene profile. So, and it's in my Venus sequence. So it's in my heart opening sequence. It's part of my first 21 years of developing. It's my EQ. So it's my emotional quotient. It's how I emotionally would show up. And I had a lot of codependent issues. Everything I just said, I was codependent on my ex or my spouse. I was codependent on the titled mom. I was codependent on being a day spa owner or a boss or a leader. Or I was attached to these titles. I was attached to these states of codependence. I was codependent on at the time. I'm just going back before I started my journey and recognized a lot of these patterns. I was codependent to nicotine, to caffeine, to just an array of shit that a lot of people are, they have tendencies, right, to become attached, overly attached to where, like, if you don't have it, you're kind of at a loss of like, well, what is my purpose? And so that, moving into that, you get a gift. So whenever you release these patterns, you come into a higher state of consciousness. And with that higher state of consciousness, it's known as sensitivity. And so they're known as the whisperers. And they're also shamans, people that have this active. And it's not to say that you can't activate it. You totally can activate this in your gene. Like right now, everybody say, I activate gene key 19. I activate the gift of sensitivity, if you dare, because it makes you a bridge between all realms, between the cosmic realm or galactic, and between the Deva, which is the elementals, the fairies, the mineral kingdom, and then the animal kingdom. Okay, and the animals. So a lot of people that actually have this in their holographic gene profile, hey, they are connected to they're able to talk to animals, or they're able to talk to the trees, or they're able to talk to angels, or all of the above. It just depends on how conscious or how high their consciousness is, how aligned they are to their sensitivity. These are super empaths. These are the sages of the tribes, the ancient sages. people that you would consider to be naive because they're more in tune with the fantasy and the animals and the elemental, the trees, and they're talking to flowers, and they're not really caring about what's going on and like the drama, because they're more like, ooh, and like I hear things, I see things, I smell things, I feel. They're very empathic. They're attuned to the you become attuned to the needs of others. They're very in tune to the needs of others. So much in tune to the needs of others, they become dependent on helping and being of service, right? So there's this balance that they come in. That species will come. This whole species, the human species, will come into a balance with. Like I said, we all have this. Everybody, just some of us have it more predominant in our holographic gene profiles. And these people are also from, if you have it predominantly in your gene key profile, you're also you're from you see things from the future, what the human needs are, not from the past, and not necessarily from the present, but from what the future needs are. Hey, love to you. And so what we're doing as a species is we're coming in tune with this right now. So you're going to notice these heightened sensitivities. Like you're going to notice, like you're going to feel more that people need more connection, or that they're, maybe you're in line and you're in line at Starbucks and you see that somebody needs some extra space, so you back up, right? Or you feel that maybe they would need a stir stick and you're right there, so you hand them the stir stick, you know, and they don't have the heebie-jeebies and you know, issues with somebody and germs and stuff, so they don't freak out, and they're just really grateful that you gave them a stir stick, whatever the case may be. But you're more in tune with this, okay? And you're more in, like, say somebody's walking their dog and you have this feeling that the dog has like anxiety or pain, you know, and you're guided to say something, tell that person. You don't have to explain that, you know, like I'm a dog whisperer, I'm the cat whisperer, I'm a horse whisperer, whatever. You don't have to say all that. Just whisper it into their ear. Plant that seed. Don't explain yourself. Plant that seed. But this is all what's coming up in the collective for until I think it's February 2nd is whenever the sun moves out of this this activation portal, okay? We're activating this gene key. So these are our great sages, and they're now, and they're thinking what the community wants in the future. So these are people that are like rebels with a cause. So they're here to bring humanity and the needs of the future humans into this reality. So people like me, for example, I'm going to use me for an example. Like I have sold sex toys in the past. I sold them for 5 years of passion parties. I came into my spiritual awareness. I had a day spa for 9 years. I was a cosmetologist for 9 years. I had a day spa for like 6 months. And I was in the beauty industry for 9 years. I was in the military, you know, like I'm like thinking in my life, like, what is it that I'm supposed to, and I'm teaching, you know, this cosmic consciousness, I'm a medium, I'm this, and that. Like, how do I pull it all together? You know, like, what am I doing? Like, what really like toots my horn, gets me going, makes me excited? And I'm like, and I was a Zumba instructor and diva. I'm a Zumba diva. I just like to dance, right? Dance. And I'm like, what am I doing? And like, I love doing ceremonies. Like I do them all the time. Like when I say like, if you have to do a ceremony to make yourself realize like what I do them, like that's me. Like I'm a hands-on kind of person. Like I've got to, you know, I love you, Mimi. And so anyways, my point being, I'll get to the point, is, you know, what I'm doing is sacred, sensual dancing, okay, and ceremonies. And it's not just going little, like I'm going like big. I'm not saying I'm gonna pull out some Indian tantric stuff that get, you know, like, but what I'm doing is I do based off, I'm too intuitive. So I'm bringing in the sensual, sexual vibe into healing ceremonies and dance and, you know, other things. I'm not going to lay out everybody like what I'm doing, because this is going to be my workshops and stuff that I'm going to be traveling and doing here in the future, teaching cosmic consciousness, but really embodying consciousness into the body. And that's the shit that we need right now. And I see that, and I see that women and men and no gender, whatever, all genders need to come into tune with the goddess within. And you know what? I'm not the shy person. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not the person that is afraid to, let everybody experience. I sold sex toys for 5 years. Like, believe me, I'm not afraid to be open about sexuality. Half the time, I'm also writing a book right now. And you're going to love the title of it whenever I tell you it in time. And I kind of want to tell everybody what it's called, because it's my personality, but it doesn't matter anyways. I'm bringing shit out that needs to happen. We need to break taboos, okay? We need to come in tune with sexuality, with the pussy, okay? We need to come into tune with the Kundalini energy, with your sexual energy. And it isn't just for sex with somebody else and a sacred partner. Like, yeah, that's phenomenal. That's great. But it's also about having sex with yourself and learning how to tune and use that energy to come into a higher connection with your soul self and bring that information that you have stored in the body and that you have constant access to into this reality. And it's people that have this gene key or this activation right now, and you all have this, but it's activating this and becoming in tune and sensitive to all the realms, all the dimensions, and really laying that shit down, like getting in there, right? Vibing. It's really about just getting in there, right? And doing what needs to be done. And people that carry this predominantly in their holographic gene profile, that's one of the gifts that they carry, right? Once they activated within their evolution, okay, their awakening. But right now, it's active for everybody. I mean, you can activate it at any time, but right now it's being illuminated for everybody to be like, look, get sensitive with it, people. Get in tune, right? Who else? That's right. Balance. Yeah, balance. It is about definitely finding a balance. It's definitely finding a balance in it all. But I'm high energy. I'm very high vibe. Like, right, I'm just extremely happy today. But anyway, so Gene Key 19. So once we've gotten through that, the gift of sensitivity. What else did I'm going to read through here because I highlighted a couple of things. What else is the animal kingdom? Food, mammals, tribal cultures, legends. Yeah, I mean, the whisperers, the ancient connection to our DNA between other mammals and humans is that origin of the whispers. Specifically gifted people who can communicate with animals or can act as a bridge between entirely different species, like galactics or celestials, right? Yeah. So this is a great gift. There's a lot, and they're extremely psychic people. This is an extremely psychic gene to activate within the body. So again, if you haven't already set the intention to activate, align, embody this gene, then do so. Okay. And so with that, with activation, with the gift, with living in that gift frequency and embodying it and integrating it into your life, because it takes time to integrate all of this for the gene to awaken in the structure and then to reform, okay, restructure and reform attached to other cells, right? That's what it does. And then it becomes active in your life and it integrates. And once you've integrated it, it becomes this higher frequency, and that's the frequency of sacrifice. And it's not sacrifice like, oh, I had to sacrifice myself, or a sacrificial, like, a sacrifice to a god or anything. It's not about that. It is simply letting go of the small self, letting go of the ego self, and becoming in tune and an interdependence, right? In tune with the all, with the whole, and realizing that you are whole. And it is it's a unity consciousness. And that all dimensions, all times, all space are interwoven all in one time. And it's really living in that conscious state of being, that consciousness, that awareness, and realizing that, what Sally and Joe are doing they're playing out on the world stage for you, because there's something in what they're doing that you need to have awareness of. Maybe, once you get to that state of consciousness, you just realize, like, okay, this is all happening, right? And you let go of that small self and you step into the soul self, and what it is that you're here, and you surrender that, your body. So you surrender this physical body for the collective, for the good of all. What are you here for? What is this body here on this planet to do? You hold that frequency. You heal the animals. You heal the land. You mediumship for people. You use the gift frequency, and you do it with honor, right? So that's one of the many. There's more. I'm going to read more. Okay. So I had this highlighted here. Okay. So through the 19th gene key, you can see how each level of frequency has to transcend itself entirely. Once humans overcome their codependence on outside agencies, they finally achieve independence. Likewise, once they attain independence, they have to take another great leap to give up their hard-earned independence and trust in the totality itself. This surrender to the collective structure involves sacrifice at the highest levels of the word's meaning. This is the sacrifice of your separate identity, and perhaps far more frightening for the separate self, it is the sacrifice of your body. The 19th city shares a profound connection to the 49th. I'll just skip that. The two cities represent the key mystical process that will eventually take over the human species. Great secrets are held within the world's great myths, and here we can see the myth of sacrifice, the Norse Odin hanging upside down on the world tree, or Christ hanging on the cross. All sacrificial myths led to a rebirth, and all such myths are of a deep genetic secret hidden within the human DNA. As we've seen, the 19th gene has a deep connection with the animal kingdoms. Okay. And then I have written over here, life is thus given the chain of sacrifice. Earth is really the breeding ground for a series of genetic leaps that parallel the awakening of our full spiritual realization. As we make each leap in awareness, we come to realize we are housed within a wider framework than we had previously understood. There are a total of 9 dimensions that our Earth has to move through, and as we pass through each of these initiations, we have to sacrifice our smaller, local self before finally being born a true universal human being. Okay, and then over here I have written, consciousness is now being outstripped man and is reaching out for a higher form. But the new form must emerge out of the old one. So deep within the human DNA, new mutations are being triggered. This is one of the many reasons for the vast population explosion on the planet, because we had to integrate all of the different races. And then all of these gene mutations could take place so that we become one. And the 19th gene is gene key, and the city is the 5th initiation. So we're in the 5th initiation out of 9. Okay, so it takes time for the whole. And there's some beings, which I'm just going to go ahead and say you're one of them if you're watching this, that are embodying this genetic mutation, like becoming the light body human right now. Okay, whereas we're like the first wave that will be doing this. And I know it's been expressed in other mystical forms and ways, and saying, but this is just one of the many ways of understanding that, we're the first wave, or indigo, or or light worker, or whatever you want to call it. Okay. Or you're a galactic being, or you're an ascended master. We're the first waves that are here, that have already gone through the light body, or we were one of the first Elohim, or light. We were the light body, and we're here again to show humanity and to bring humanity to a higher state of consciousness, because this is a plane, or planet, whatever, of duality. And so we live in the hall of mirrors. In order to believe it, we have to see it. So we're here to be the proof, the pudding, right? So they can taste it, so they can see it, so they can touch it and go, oh my God, is this really happening? Kind of like a lot of us have had a lot of synchronicities, and we're, in order for our consciousness to raise, we're having to see synchronicities. We're, becoming aware, because we've been asleep for so long. We were in this deep sleep so that we would have the experiences and everything that we needed, so that we could, relate to the human. Okay. Are you with me? Woo! Is this awesome? Is this a great Gene Key or what? I love it. Just, yeah. Divine Goddess, butterfly kisses. Hello. Yes, you're with me. Vikings. Yes. Odin. I see you've got some lineage love in there. I am excited. This is a lot. This is amazing, right? Is this not good shit? Is this not more proof to what we're doing? I mean, not that we all need, nobody needs proof, right? We know we're kings and queens, right? That we're just all here, and we're like, all right, watch me do it. Watch me now. And it made me think of like 3 different songs. But the one that's really prominent, I love the movie Dirty Dancing. Work, oh. Suck it to me, baby. Work. That's the one that's in my head. All right. So, and I'm going to go over the 9. I'm going to go over the 9 portals of planetary initiation. Like I said, this is the 5th one. The first, I'm going to start with the first. The first is birth, and then baptism, and then confirmation. Matrimony is 4th. 5th is annunciation. 6 is communion. 7 is ordination, however you want to say it. 8 is sanctification. I probably should have tried to say these things to myself. And 9 is glorification. I was hooked on my phonics. It worked real good for me. I speak light language. That comes out naturally. English, I'm just like, man, these damn words. Where the hell they get them? Oh, yeah, they made them up. Right, they have their own frequency. That's why it's all like spelling. Fuckers. Got me all tongue twisted. I swear, I have not been the American or the English speaking person too many times. I really feel like a lot of my roots was like Native American or Indian, Hindu culture, Eastern, Middle Eastern, and then African, and Hispanic, Latin, but being white and speaking English, it's just never really sat with me. I'm not even kidding. I really had hooked on phonics as a kid. Like, I remember my Christmas, I think I was 10, 11. I was in 5th grade. My big box that was underneath the Christmas tree was fucking hooked on phonics. I'm serious. I was raised by a Spanish, like my babysitter as a kid. My mom worked, she's single mom, whatever. My babysitter was Hispanic. Like, I didn't really speak English until I think I was like, had to go to kindergarten. I don't speak Spanish now. I mean, I understand it. I'm like, what? What are they saying? I'm listening, but no habla español really comes out of my mouth. I'll Spanglish. But if I get drunk enough or stoned enough, something comes out. Usually light language. I have held an Arabic conversation with 6 people, proof But I did in the back of a forerunner in Abu Dhabi after smoking his hashish, which I was so naive, did not know what hashish was. And it was a time frame that I probably shouldn't have been smoking hashish. I thought it was tobacco. Anyways, but I was having a full-blown conversation in Arabic with him. I didn't speak Arabic, but I knew it then. Drugs are magical. Yeah. It was pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy. I actually have some living proof that will attest to this too. And we talked for about, I don't know how long the car ride was. We were going through the dunes and back to a big metal thing that floats in the water. And I'm really glad I didn't get drug tested. Fun. All right. I'm sorry. More stuff about me. So these are the 9 portals of planetary initiation. I'm sorry. It's being me. So initiation brings us into a wider awareness of our interdependence with the whole, because we're all intertwined and we're dependent on the unity of us all. The human species depends on the raising of the consciousness. And, by us leading the way, I love you too. And by us leading the way, and taking the blows and having the meltdowns and realizing our patterns and how we're codependent on even wearing the same colored socks. Is that codependence? Maybe not. Maybe it's OCD. I don't know. But I went through my drawers, literally, figuratively, not figuratively, literally, went through all my drawers. And I took my socks and I paired them with different colors. It was and to put them on my feet, matching. Oh man, I was like, for one sock felt different than the other. That was strange. I had 2 different textures on my feet at the same time. It was weird. Okay. I'm probably the only person that thinks that's funny anyway, so it has nothing to do with this Gene Key 19. It's just another story. Okay. One of the traits of the new human will be an incredibly sensitive will be an incredible sensitivity that is far beyond being psychic. Michelle, I always say it. I take my shit for granted. And I say, I really do. I have this in my EQ. This is in my emotional quotient, which being an empath, that's emotions, you're feeling. So I'm always I'm super psychic. I took my shit for granted. Now nobody fucks with me. I don't care what anybody says. You can lie to me. Fucking people do it all the time. They'll lie to me right to my face. I'm like, you can believe your own bullshit. You can. Or you can just be honest with yourself, because you're just lying to yourself. I see through your shit. I don't care. I don't care if you can't see past your patterns. I can, and I feel it, and I know it's bullshit. It's one of the best things. My coaching, they love me as I blow through the bullshit. But I took that for granted in the beginning. When I first activated and I came into the awareness, I was tested with people all the time, trying to lie to me. It was for me to trust, and trust you shall. And this Gene Key is rooted in the root chakra, in the moolah. It's all about trust. It's all about trusting yourself. So you activate this, be damn straight that you're going to get a lot of people in your reality, or circumstances in your reality, that bring up trusting your intuition. And just because somebody can lie to themselves or lie to you, don't let it fool you. Don't let it fool you. Stand your ground, let them fool themselves, and so be it. They'll come back or they won't. This evolution is becoming. And you see it all the time, people's positive quotes and stuff. It's it's learning boundaries and becoming sure of yourself and then others second. That is the prime example, is trusting that intuition. Yeah, you can totally feel that. You can feel it, the thing is not to get mad at them either. Like I'd get them. I was in a narcissistic relationship, and it's not, and I would get super triggered and angry because I'm like, you're making me second guess myself, brah. And it's like, but they do this, they lie to themselves and believe their own shit because it makes them feel safe. That's it. So don't get mad at them. Just be like, damn, you're that scared that you can't even tell yourself the truth. You won't even admit your own truth. Like, it's not to feel pity for them either, but it's just be like, that's where you're at. Okay, I'm going to take my energy and I'm going to go put it where it's useful on myself or on somebody else that is willing to do the work, right? Don't waste your time, right? Don't waste your energy. I don't like the word time. I like the word energy. Don't waste your energy. Don't waste your movement. I want to change the word time to rhythm, because that's really what it is. It's a rhythm. The rhythm of the night. That was a hard lesson I had to learn. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's a trust. So literally, that was, honestly, I went to yoga today, and I was like I was reading Gene Key 19 last night because I was going to come on and do this video, and I wanted to. And I'm working on my Venus sequence, and it just so happens to be, I was like, I love alignments. I love how everything just works out perfectly. So I go to yoga this morning, and my yoga teacher, the pose that we go over is all about the root, the mula, and trust. All right, we set the intention for trust today. And I was like, of course it was. Everything works out perfectly. Everything's in alignment. You just got to get in that flow, man. You just, I was talking to a client today, and she's going through it, and that's beautiful, but it's like you're getting so much resistance in your reality, and shit's blowing up because guess what? You just need to lay down and let the universe roll over you. Just let the universe have its way. Just be. Just be. Just go with the flow. Don't get out of the resistance, and just allow and trust that everything is going to work out. It already has. It's already happened in the astral realm. That's why it's happening in the physical. And so the more that you put that resistance in there, that's why you're having the conflicts in your reality with people, or you're having things blow up and break down or whatever. That's why. But anyways, all right. So the awareness in such a being will not recognize itself as being separate from other human beings. Thus, they will work for all of humanity without caring for themselves. They give up the small self. That's that unity consciousness. There's so many of us that are just like ready to break free, and we're like, we want to create communities. We want unity. We want to work together. We want to let go of the monetary system. We just want to grow food together, and like we're all having flashbacks of the original days, or our tribal. It's not going to be necessarily just like that. I mean, it's going to be communities and small, and it's going to. But we're also in the technology age and an era. I'm not going to say that there's AI that could be displayed in a lot of different ways, but. And not robots walking around everywhere. That is that will, at least not my reality. But there's just a different coming of where the human species is going. I mean, it's the Pleiadians. That's Pleiadians. Pleiadians are the future human. So if you're predominantly Pleiadian, just, hey, hi, you've come from the future into the past, by the way, just letting you know. Like legitimately, you are like negative years old right now. You haven't you're not even a thought in the cosmic sperm. I'm just kidding. We thought of you. I don't know. I'm just on one right now. I am laughing at my own jokes deeply. So with all of that, this is the Gene Key 19. This is the activation, the illumination of Gene Key 19, which is in the body right now. Oh, fucking obviously it's in the body. Why did I say that? It's in the body. Well, no shit. Where else is it? Anyways, current human language is auditory, but future forms will communicate through their environment using a sense that is closer to what we call touch. This is the true language of Gaia, the interconnective auric tissue that brings all beings of the planetary sphere into full awareness of their inherent unity. So, things that we can look forward to, right? And yes, if you have any questions, just go ahead and post them in there. I'm live, so let's pop a couple questions in. I'll do my best to bring it through, whatever's coming through for you, so we can bring this through in relation to the Gene Key 19 activation, of course. I will got a few minutes before I go live on Instagram and do my oracle reading. So, prana, chi, yeah, food, yes, but that's what food really is. It's prana, it's chi, it's energy. And yeah, this one, so it'll be being activated. Oh, it's also part of the codon ring of Gaia. So there's three gene keys that make up the codon ring of Gaia, which is Gene Key 19, Gene Key 60, and Gene Key 61. So I'm going to go over the shadow frequency is codependence. The gift is sensitivity, all those awesome gifts that come with being sensitive. And then the highest frequency is sacrifice. And it's to sacrifice the small self to become the whole self, the one unity consciousness. All right. Well, if there's no questions, then I'm going to go ahead and log off. I really hope that this was informative. I love you all. Thank you for being active with me tonight and enlightening. Oh, I can do a quick little activation. Oh, I do a little light, like speaking of light language, I can do a little light language activation, of course. Why not? All right. So soothe, soften, and relax. And we'll set this intention with the activation of the 19th gene key and the gifts of sensitivity, communication with all realms, past, present, and future, devas, angels, mineral kingdom, animal kingdom, and anything in between. Want to stay away from the demon kingdom. I didn't mention that, but just you're worthy and you are enough. If you just think about this, if you weren't worthy, would you be awake? It's your time. All right. So I call in my soul self. I call in my galactic family, my spirit family, and all pure source light energy to call in and align, activate Gene Key 19. Naheawa, Yokuane, Asatarne Ana, Ayasata, Hukuama, Su Uarnaeasa, Yearnaya, Nekeasa, Sukuarni. Harnayana, Yasatarnane, Nile Arukunwana Setia Stearnuaya, Taraknia Seti Sarnane, Huarmawaya, Neke Siawarwa. Neakne wasatar newa. As a divine sovereign being, that is my will. And so it is. All right. I'm feeling lifted, shifted, and happier than ever. I love this. I really love my life. I really do. I'm super excited. I'm really excited. I'm really happy for like everybody joining me. I'm really excited that you're all in this journey. You're so empowered. You are so amazing. Just remember that every day. Remember how amazing you are. Remember each day to make this day better than the day before. There's always something that you can do to make your day better, and that's smile. It automatically stimulates the endorphins in your body, and it creates your body happiness. So just remember, if you're feeling like shit, smile. Just smile. All right. I love you. I appreciate you. I truly do. And if you're looking and you want to have more one-on-one connection, if you want to know your holographic gene profile and how the planetary alignments are working for you, let me know. We'll set up a cosmic blueprint, or we could do one-on-one coaching. Your choice. I have payment plans option. If you are needing to stagger it out, that's cool too. I understand. I know this process. I get it. And I'm here for you. I love you. Have a good night. And if you want to join me on Instagram, I'm going to be there in 15 minutes. Oracle.